Hello, hello, hello. This is Gresh from the I Am CEO podcast. I have a very special guest on the show today. I have Rachael Bush of Mova Business Solutions. Rachael, it's awesome to have you on the show.
Oh, hi. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you. It's an honor. Any interview opportunity is just great. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. You're doing so many phenomenal things. So I'm super excited to drill in a little bit more here, a little bit more about all the awesome things that you're doing. But before we did that, I went to read a little bit more about Rachael so you can hear a little bit about some of those things. And Rachael is the CEO of Mova Business Solutions. She goes through each day empowered by the personal mission to live and share a calm and authentic life that inspires the love of life in all my interactions. And through her contracted virtual administrative services based business, her approach and willingness to get in and really tackle a problem for her clients. Rachael, great to have you on the show. Are you ready to speak to the IMCO community?
I am. Oh my goodness. Yes.
Awesome. Let's do it then. So to kind of kick everything off, I wanted to rewind the clock a little bit, hear a little bit more on how you got started, what I call your CEO story.
Sure. So by trade, I guess my original career, I was actually in food service management. And again, you get put in these roles, you get bigger accounts. They don't provide you an admin. They think that salary is enough to keep your work going, which is cool at times. But I realized that I wanted to step away from that work. But through the skill set I had is how I created my business, which is Mova Business Solutions, again, which provides contracted virtual administrative support to other business owners like myself. So yeah, just taking all the skills I had and being able to apply it to my clients has been the most thrilling opportunity for over the past 4 years. So yeah, just took what I had, learned from that, and then said, I'm going to go start a business. So,
Yeah.
it's a great story, I guess, to continue to share. So just to remind anyone that whatever you put your mind to, you can do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think too, one of the big things that I took away from, your story as well is sometimes we don't realize what we have in place. We always looking externally for, we need to have this or we need to have that. But a lot of times we have what's already there. It's just a matter of kind of leaning forward in that opportunity sometimes we see in something that's not being fulfilled.
That's exactly it. I had to look and see what skills I had and how I could apply it. And the fun fact was I was doing it for people for fun, just another way to get working through it. And then finally, one of my friends were like, "You should get paid to do this." And I went, "People get paid to do things online, virtually for other people?" And she's like, "Yes, do your research." So that's how that came about. I was just taking what I like doing and, taking care of others. So.
Yeah, absolutely. That's another great lesson. Make sure you have really good people around you so they can tell you when you have a potential opportunity so you can definitely seize it and make sure you're getting, paid in order to do that.
Yes, that's exactly it. Good people around you for success.
Absolutely. So I know you touched on it a little bit and I did a little bit too as when I read your bio. Could you take us through a little bit more on what you do with your clients and how that process goes?
Sure. First, I would say it's pretty built personally for each client. As I take a consultation for all of them. What happens is usually clients come to me with a bunch of different problems of what's happening and how their work is going or where they need support. And I truly take the time to master down to at least what I know I can complete based on my skill set and build that for them. It starts between two different ways. The first one is, again, that consultation. And then from that consultation, I've learned that my clients either just need support on a project or a task, which I actually offer as a concierge package. So that gives them a good group of hours for them to, we can get through the work together. Or I offer what is my favorite part of the work, the project management, audit and evaluation. And implementation. Ooh. So from that, you learn with other businesses, they have a lot of moving parts, and it's really trying to find the right program for them to align that together so that those steps are taking care of them, automatically without them trying to pull a bunch of work from behind the scenes. And so being able to interact with my clients and their small team, or if it's just them, and then find what works best for them it's been great. Like, I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah,
Great part of the work.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. And I imagine it's been great, for clients as well, too, because I think when you get stressed, when you feel like you are juggling the world, the best thing that sometimes happens is when you can talk with somebody, have that consultation and go through that process and learn about, okay, this is what you really need help with, and this is how I can help you. And that, I imagine, reduces the stress and probably makes people feel a lot better.
Yes, and it definitely reduces the stress on me because you talk to
Mhm.
somebody and again they're giving you so many different ones and you're like, well, really, there might be one software that will handle all that for you. And of course, as a business owner, they're in the operation knee deep. They don't have the space or the capacity to figure it out, and that's where I come in to help them create that and set that up as efficiently as possible. But then again, asking those probing questions, seeing how the team interacts. My favorite, one of my clients always said, Rachel knows how to get me uncomfortable when I think I'm in a comfortable situation
Mm.
with the project work, and really being able to ask those questions so I can deliver something good for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that you said that because I think so many times, also like having the knowledge, as you said so well, of the different systems. Because I think a lot of times business owners sometimes don't even know that something exists that can kind of, massage a lot of those things that are stressing us out. So I love that you have that knowledge, but you also have that, it kind of sounds like listening ears to really understand and be able to connect those dots.
Yes. First of all, I am a twin. I have a twin sister. So when you grow up with another whole person in your space, you have to listen because usually people
Mhm.
are talking to both of you at the same time. But also, I definitely lead with a level of compassion when it comes to business owners, just because you really have to hear what they're saying in order to resolve that. And I'm a total systems nerd, so I've enjoyed learning new efficiency products and softwares. I love the Trellos of the world, the Asanas, Acuity, which I saw you use as well. So just
Mhm.
being able to plug those in and support other business owners through that based on my expertise is, again, it's just I'm thankful. I don't know what else to say. It's been
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah, it's absolutely golden. And I say like those systems and processes, and I call them hacks, are really, really great. But to have somebody who knows how to leverage them, that's golden in and of itself to really be able to take things, to an entirely different level. So you might have already touched on this, but I wanted to ask you now for what I call your secret sauce. And this could be for
Oh,
yourself personally or the business or a combination of both. But what do you feel kind of sets you apart and makes you unique?
again, I just think it's an extreme personalization of the experience working with my clients. Just being able to connect with them on that level. I think that's a huge piece, and I totally credit my background, especially working in food service and customer service. You get all types of personalities that show up to you, ranging from help me create an event or I didn't like my chicken quesadilla and you're the one who needs to solve it. So just being able to experience all those personalities and really grow from those and say, okay, here's how I can apply it to the next step. It's been a pleasure to be able to take that from my past work and put it in my current work now. And it makes people realize that, they while you may not be the only client, you are that client in that moment, and helping you solve that problem is what's best. So I just think I'm pretty personable. Um, and I'm not fake. So there's a lot of authentic and you know being genuine in those conversations that also I think comes to the secret sauce. So you won't get that anywhere else.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that authenticity is definitely something that's huge. But as you know, the word that kept coming to my mind is that stress, as we kind of talked about earlier. And I think when you understand that, and as you talked about in your background, being able to kind of see that stress in the food services and be able to kind of alleviate some of that stress, I think in the business, I imagine you come across clients that have the stress of being able and trying to understand how to juggle a million things, and to be able to just have a conversation to kind of be steadied, so to speak, so that they are able to kind of lean into whatever solutions you're able to find is absolutely huge.
That's exactly. I couldn't have summarized that any better. Thank you for taking the words and putting it back out there for your audience. That's it. Perfect. Thank
Yeah.
you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. That's why we're recording this. That's for sure.
Exactly.
So I wanted to switch gears a little bit, and I wanted to ask you for what I call a CEO hack. And this is an opportunity for us to nerd out a little bit. So this could be like an app, a book, or a habit that you have. But what's something that makes you more effective and efficient?
Oh, that is a wonderful question. So the first thing is, as a CEO, I have to make time to plan. So I'm a huge planner, nerd, junkie, notebooks, you name it. So I actually currently use the Passion Planner, which is a minority owned and based operation company in San Diego. I am on year 6 of using that. I credit that planner to helping me create my business, or at least starting everything up from that. If we jump to apps, actually one of my newest finds, oh man, you're gonna get ready for this. It's called SunSama. And I'm probably saying that wrong, but that's what it looks like. But it's actually been around, if I read correctly, 2013. It's been an app that's used, but being able to see my calendar, and it syncs with all my other fun apps. So Trello, Asana, my Gmail calendar, my email, and literally I'm just dragging and pasting, tasks into there. And I love to color code everything. I'm actually 2 weeks into that app, and I'm completely in love with it.
Nice.
And it's just been so much fun to use that as well. So that's a personal habit. Trying to think of anything else. Oh yeah, I color code everything, so everything has a color. There are plenty of pins. Huge user of Papermate Inkjoy gel pens. Shout out to Papermate.
There you go.
And I'm trying to think if there's anything else in my window. Oh, Rocketbook. I don't know if you've used Rocketbook
I've heard
before.
of it. I haven't used it.
Okay. I got it as a gift a couple years ago, and I actually just updated. They have a Kickstarter which just got done being funded for a new version. So pretty much you use a certain pen on the paper, you can wipe it away. You use an app to send things off, all those apps and things of that nature. But it helps me stay away from, I guess, using a bunch of notebooks. But I'm still a pen to paper kind of gal still, so
Mhm.
it's just another way to be in the trend.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that's a few of them I can think of. Oh, and my phone, and yeah, team iPhone. I'll put that out there because
Oh yeah.
I know some of us are not the case.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
probably gonna get judged when somebody.
You are. You are. We
See,
might have to cut the interview short because I'm definitely team Android. So
I
you,
feel
you can see it in my eyes. I know
I
if
did.
you're
I
only
saw
listening
it.
to this, you can see it in the eyes.
I
I was waiting for that.
I saw it. But I will say I'm not a Mac user yet. So I
Okay.
have my iPhone, I have my iPad, I totally got my watch, I got the earbuds, but I have yet to invest in a MacBook.
Okay.
Which I have a lot of people stalking me to convert. I've had a few clients who are like, "We've paid the invoice. Is that a possibility?" And I'm like, "No, I'm good." So don't
Yeah.
judge too far.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. I'm actually on the opposite end I'm doing that straight from the MacBook that I have. So yeah, I definitely can completely understand that. But I
Okay.
love all of those, hacks because I think so many times we forget that, when we're running our business and juggling our business and wearing multiple hats, we have sometimes so much in our head. And to be able to kind of organize that and plan that out. I love all the different hacks that you have to do that. And I definitely have to check them out because I think if you're able to kind of synthesize as many of those things as possible into one app or multiple apps, or be able to understand what works for you as far as like color coding, that's
Mhm.
really not just how the apps can be used, but how you can kind of manipulate them or use them so that you can reach and be successful in whatever it is that you're doing.
And then, again, I do my own research because I have to know what my clients can use. So I have to connect with people. And if I know that they might be a Trello user over Asana, like that's something I got to know what I'm working on in order to share that with them. I think that's been really helpful. And then again, you might just have to keep it old school, like, hey, just grab a notebook. Let's make a list. Like,
Yeah.
and then, being able to get that out for them has been, it's been just as great. But yeah, I guess I do have, as I started listening, I got a few different hacks, but those are definitely the top 5-ish.
Okay. Yeah, no, I appreciate you sharing that. And yeah, I think it's so huge. And I love kind of even I thought a hack within the hack is to always kind of research and learn and to continue to kind of test those things out because sometimes we don't know what the latest enhancement or the upgrades or whatever these apps might be or these
Mhm.
softwares that we can kind of use. And as you said, there's while there's an app for everything, the best app sometimes is picking out that pencil and that pad and just doing it kind of like the old school way. So I can definitely I relate to that as well.
Yes.
Um, So I wanted to ask you now for what I call a CEO nugget. So this could be a word of wisdom or piece of advice. It might be something you would tell a client, or if you hopped into a time machine, you might tell your younger business self.
Well, my CEO nugget would just be to go ahead and do it. I probably spent about 2 years with the idea before I launched my actual business. I'll be very candid. There was a lot of self doubt. I didn't think that I could run a business. I didn't think I could find clients. Just a lot of, I just don't think. And the truth is, you just got to go sometimes, and the other pieces are just going to fall into place. And again, I just think last year kind of slapped some of us in the face like, hey, if you wanted to make this happen, this is the time. You got more availability in your life could handle. Like, you know. So that would definitely be my nugget to say, to say that. And then I would also say my second nugget is ask for help.
Mm.
Because I definitely went a solid year without asking for help. I didn't think that it was worthy of me to connect to other business owners. I didn't think that it was time for me to just do what I was doing. But then when I started asking for help and voicing what I was doing, people started generating towards me, or, oh, hey, I heard about this, or, have you looked into this, or how do you feel about this product? Do you have some time? Other business owners just saying, hey, let's connect. Like, it was never any exchange for like money or anything like that, but just being able to have that space and just say, you know what, I need help. I'm really grateful for those opportunities as well. And I've made sure I made time on my schedule, no matter what's going on, to take those same conversations with others who are, I don't think I'm ready for this. And, well, you don't know what you think you're ready for yet, but let's talk. Let's see how that works. And if I can, again, provide a resource to somebody else or connect them to another person, then I've done my part.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you being, transparent about that and authentic, because I think so many times, we feel like when that imposter syndrome creeps up of, who am I to do X, Y, and Z? Who am I to start a business? Who am I to do whatever it is, or take my business to whatever that might be, and whatever that looks like? It's a very isolating feeling and a lonely feeling. You almost
Mhm.
feel like you're the only one that has that feeling, but all of us, if not many of us, have that feeling. And I think, as you said, on the second, nugget is really to ask for help, to reach out, to voice those, opinions, to voice that you feel like you maybe don't have what it takes. A lot of times, if you're surrounding yourself with the right people, they will remind you that you do have what it takes. And sometimes we're just not looking into that. So I appreciate you so much in sharing that, because I think it's something that we all kind of go through. And I'm very great, very great. I'm very appreciative of you being able to kind of, talk about that.
Yeah, no, I mean, no problem. It's something, again, I had to learn it the hard way. And when you need help in whatever facet that looks like, family, business, life, you need to just be able to say it. But I bet money that we've both been in spaces where it didn't feel like we should ask for help when it wasn't something that we were expected to do. And I guess I can only share it from perspective as a Black woman.
Mm.
But there's just moments where it doesn't feel like we should be looking for support, and it shouldn't feel that way, not just in business, but life in general. And I will say some of the best help I ever got in work or business was my sons. Like, they were actually, both of them, have jumped in and been like, hey, mom, can I grab this for you? Or, hey, you're working really hard, can I do this? And just being able to lean on them in those moments. They're not adults, they're kids, but it felt good. And so then it kind of encouraged me to keep doing that when I needed it, from another party.
Yeah, I definitely, I can echo that as a Black man. Definitely sometimes I have that exact same feeling. But what you said, really hits home with where we kind of talk about in the beginning, where sometimes we think that we need to have something else, but sometimes we have people, places, things, associations, whatever it might be, that are around us that we can lean on sometimes, and that kind of gives us that validation that we are going in the right place. So definitely,
Yes,
I appreciate that.
no problem.
Yes. And so I wanted to ask you now my absolute favorite question, which is the definition of what it means to be a CEO. And we're hoping to have different quote unquote CEOs on this show. So, Rachel, what does being a CEO mean to you?
Whew, first of all, that's a deep question. But I will say, being a CEO is giving myself permission to do exactly what I know needs to be done. So it's really providing the opportunity to lead with passion and work in passion. I learned recently that I'm not an entrepreneur in regards of I make businesses to sell businesses, but I'm actually a small business owner who enjoys doing the work that I'm in. So just being able to lead through that way has been it's been the best thing I could ever ask for. I'm also at a point where I guess being a CEO also means you got to be open to always learning. So just because you have a CEO title in the beginning or at the end, wherever you put it, you have to always be learning. You got to be a student. You have to, if you're not learning from somebody else, you're learning from a book, you're learning from an article, you're just always learning, and then taking that and applying that to the work that you're doing is, yeah, it's great.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you sharing, especially that learning piece, because I think you always want to sharpen the saw and get better and see how you could do that, whether that be, like you said, book, video, course, podcast, whatever it might be, getting that opportunity to really learn, from others is absolutely huge. And I think that, really understanding, like, as a quote unquote CEO, small business owner, entrepreneur, whatever title we use, you get to kind of create the path that you decide to create. And that's something you can have peace in, and you can kind of lean into once you're able to understand this is exactly what I want my business or my life to look like. And I appreciate you for doing that and reminding us of that too.
Thank you. I was trying to figure out what that was gonna sound like, but I'm glad it came out.
Hey, came through
It
loud
turned
and
into
clear.
something good. Right.
Absolutely. Well, Rachel, truly appreciate that definition. And I appreciate your time even more. What I wanted to do is just pass you the mic, so to speak, just to see if there's anything additional you can let our readers and listeners know. And of course, how best they can get a hold of you and find out about all the awesome things you're working on.
Thank you very much. So I would just say the best way to get in contact with me, I'm gonna put right now my favorite social media platform, which is LinkedIn. I do have a company page, Mova Business Solutions on LinkedIn. You can find me, Rachael Bush, Rachael, on LinkedIn as well. I also can be followed on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. And I like to keep it old fashioned. You can email me at Rachael@movasolutions.org or my business email, which is info@movasolutions.org. I feel like I'm missing one more category, or I think that's it. So
Okay.
just stay in touch. Always trying to look to connect and build with others. And if you're looking for anyone that is an efficiency expert of your business, so finding someone to help you build and implement proper project management software, please give me a shout out. Or if you're looking for additional support for projects, because hey, we are in a virtual world. So I don't have to look right at you anymore to do that work. So if you're looking for a full support system for those, please give me a ring or an email. I love that.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, I definitely appreciate that, Rachel. We will have the links and information in the show notes as well, just to make it even easier for people to reach out and connect with you. But like you said, I mean, I think we talked about like how a lot of times during disruptive times, there's loads of opportunities there. So I appreciate you for leaning into that opportunity in your business and also helping out so many people because, like you said, we're in a virtual world, and sometimes how to use these tools or even knowing that they exist is something that we all aren't aware of. So I appreciate you so much and using your talents and your gifts and being able to do that for so many others. So thank you so much again. And I hope you have a great rest of the day.
You too. Thank you again for having me. It's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. I thank you. Just thank you very much.